Hello, little missionaries. We are here today with Pinky and her peculiar science and stories. How are you today?
I'm very blessed.
Me too. I'm very blessed too. All right, so what are we talking about today from the Bible?
Here I made a little diorama of the story of Nehemiah, where they're building the wall.
Okay, and do you know where that is found in the Bible?
Before Esther.
Okay, and that's Nehemiah chapter 2 and chapter 3. Okay.
Here I have them building the wall, but they weren't the only ones who were interested in the wall. The Amorites came up and they said, like in the song we sang, this wall won't go up without a fight.
Okay, so the Amorites came and what happened?
So they tried to stop them from building the wall. And they had to fight. As you see, some of the men have a sword. They had to fight while they were building it. They had to keep them from trying to stop them from building the wall. But in the end, the Lord made it all work out to where the Amorites decided, why attack them? They're not doing anything, really. So they got to build their wall in just 52 days.
Wow. Now, what was really amazing about this story, of course, is Nehemiah was the cupbearer to the king. And he was just in disarray and heartbroken because of what happened to his homeland. And the king saw him and said, well, he asked him, why are you so sad? It doesn't look like you're sick, And of course, I'm just paraphrasing because scripture is very clear in how it says it. And let me grab the Bible real quick and we'll look at it. But Nehemiah stopped right there when the king asked him, what's wrong? What's your request? And he prayed to God. He prayed to God to ask him for the words to say to the king. And the king actually had favor in Nehemiah because Nehemiah went to God first. Isn't that amazing? Is there anything you want to help show us here?
Well, the Lord is our firm foundation, like they used the stones to build the wall on a firm foundation. And I'm sure today, if you looked, you could still find remnants of that wall because it was on a firm foundation.
Very good. And we need to be living our life on a firm foundation. Just as if we don't build our house on a firm foundation, it'll settle, it'll crack, it'll actually, like one of our buildings, we have a modular building that since we have been in it, the ground has shifted and moved, and we've gotten to times where our door won't open or our door comes open, even when we're out of town and our neighbors drive by and see the door standing open and calls us, because the building, the structure has moved and given, and it doesn't work right. So we need to have a strong foundation, just as our buildings do. What else?
Well, I have here a few stones. Metamorphic rock. This is a tiger eye. A sedimentary rock, a piece of granite, and pumice, which is an igneous rock. They are all different rocks you may find. The igneous ones are caused by volcanic activity from a volcano. The sedimentary ones are lots of sediment settled in. You see all the different pieces in there. And the metamorphic are crushed tightly in between layers to make the metamorphic rock because of all the pressure.
Yeah, the metamorphic is actually pressed together with pressure and heat. So it actually melts it together. Now, if you look at a sedimentary rock, it puts it all together, kind of like what a salt and pepper shaker looks like. When you mix salt and pepper together in a shaker, we like to do that instead of just having a salt shaker and a pepper shaker. We put salt and pepper together, and then we could just sprinkle it on our food we cook. But here, if you look at it, it looks like it has the tiny little specks that are just put together, kind of like if you look at a riverbed, it has all those tiny little pieces of sedimentary right there, sedimentary rock, and they're just kind of stuck together. But with the metamorphic, they're in layers and they kind of melt together, right? And Pinky showed us a pumice stone. Where do we get a pumice stone from?
From a volcano.
A volcano. And one thing I really like about the pumice stone is it floats. It's so light that it floats. And something else, when I was growing up, we showed pigs in 4-H, and we would use pieces of pumice to brush their hair. It would go along their hair, and it would pull out all the loose hair, and it would make all the rest of the hair sit down. Instead of using a brush, we used a pumice stone. Isn't that interesting?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for showing us the rocks. And how is God like a rock?
He's our firm foundation.
He's our firm foundation. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us this today. And I pray that you have a wonderful day. And don't forget, who should be our foundation?
The Lord.
The Lord should be our strong foundation. Is there anything else you want to say?
Well, I want to thank you for watching this, and I pray that you will obey the Lord and you will read His Word, and you should read the story of Nehemiah and find out how it happened.
Thank you.